Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a really weird story, which kind of sounds a little bit unbelievable, but I've done some checking into it, and this looks absolutely true. Over in Canada, there are boxes of Fusion Strike, which have come to be known as God boxes, and these seem to be absolutely real. And quite frankly, with not a hint of exaggeration or lies, the best boxes you will ever open. These look absolutely nuts. Now, as we get going here, I do need to give a massive, gigantic, huge shout out to the very lovely Kevin Douglas, who does own KD Collectibles over in Canada. Long story short, generally speaking, when Pokemon news breaks, I know exactly where to go. And if I don't know exactly where to go, I know exactly who to talk to. This was a weird story where I was hearing a bunch of rumours, but trying to actually put my hand on it was becoming quite awkward, and I didn't want to make a video unless I really had the information. And what the lovely Kevin Douglas did was take a bunch of time yesterday to send me a whole bunch of messages, send me a bunch of pictures, answer all my questions, and generally just be an awesome person, and I appreciate it very much indeed. So, here's essentially what happened. Some people over in Canada have received some cases from a distributor. I'm not going to be naming the distributor for fairly obvious reasons. Now, the cases were sent out in early January, and essentially, some of them ended up being God cases. And what that means is every box in the case is a God box. And what does that mean? It means lots and lots of secret rares. Remember, when I say secret rares, I'm using the Japanese definition, which is to say a full art or above. Full art, gold, rainbow rare, special art, those kind of things. And generally what it tends to be is about half of the packs in the box have an extra rare spot. And that extra rare spot will be filled up with a secret rare. So Kevin was notified by one of his customers as to essentially what was happening, and was sent a couple photos, including this one. This was one box. And you will notice that in this one box, there are two alternate art Mew V Maxes. Two of them! Now, alternate art Mew V Max is a very rare card. It is one of the rarest, most sought after cards in the game right now, really. It is a fantastically popular card. It's listed on TCG Player at the moment as a roughly $85 card as I record this video. There are two of them in the box, but not just that. There's also Rainbow Rare Dancer, Rainbow Rare Greedent, Rainbow Rare Mew V Max, Rainbow Rare Shauna, Rainbow Rare Elisa Sparkle, Rainbow Rare Chandelure V Max. Plus, of course, there you've got your Full Art Boltund, your Rainbow Rare Silent and Chilean Cress, and a few other VMAX and Vs as well. Would you believe it? As far as God boxes go, that wasn't a great one, ladies and gentlemen. But I think we can all agree that's a pretty good box. So what Kevin went and did was he opened up some of his own, and we're not going to go through them in huge detail here, but I'm just going to show you some of them, because these really are kind of ridiculous. So right here, we've got a box which includes alternate art Mew VMAX, alternate art Gengar VMAX, alternate art Mew, Rainbow Rare Mew, 4 Rainbow Rare supporters, and actually 5, including Chilean Siren and Cress, plus your Greedent. This is ridiculous. We've got another one here which has your alternate art Mew, Mew VMAX, Gengar VMAX, Espeon VMAX, and 4 alternate arts, including 3 VMAXs in one box is ridiculous, but then you can add in 4 Rainbow Rare supporters, 3 Rainbow Rare VMAXs, and a full art, and this is starting to get kind of ridiculous. And again, these are the pulls from one box. Right here, we have 14 cards in one box that were full art or above. 13, because the green really is just a VMAX. But that's still ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And it just keeps going. Here's another box, which has got 2 alternate art Mew, an alternate art Espeon, an alternate art Inteleon, and an alternate art Gengar. 5 alternate art VMAXs in one box. Plus, it looks like we've got 5 full art supporters there. Rainbow Rare supporters. Plus full art Boltund, Rainbow Rare Boltund, full art Genesect. Like, if you opened a box like this, you would think it was about the best box ever, and you would be right, incidentally. So, what does this actually mean? Now, from what I've been able to get from searching around and from my conversation with Kevin here, is essentially that when you've got an error case or a God case, it seems to be every box. Now, Kevin said these are each of the boxes, and this is what you end up with. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, of course, one of the follow-up questions I asked straight away was, well, okay, have we heard about the inverse? Because essentially, clearly, and this shouldn't surprise anyone, what's happened here is that, you've got machines that print the cards, and they're printed in big sheets and cut up, and then you've got machines that sort the cards into booster packs, so, every pack has the right number of commons, uncommons, rares, etc. And essentially, what has to have happened here is that machine, and we will probably never know why, but for some reason, the machine has done a bit of an oopsie, and has started putting these really sought-after cards from the really good sheets into packs more than they should. So, have there been any boxes out there that are essentially missing, the terrible boxes, with no pulls at all, just a couple of Vs? I've not heard of any, Kevin's not heard of any, it doesn't seem to be the case. So then, of course, the next question becomes, and this is a pretty important question, how sure can you be? And essentially, if you know what you're looking for, you can be pretty sure. I.e., if you look at where they came from, the date they were shipped, etc., you can pretty much pick out the cases. Again, these are not just random people walking into a shop. These are people that work there and know when the boxes came in and have organised them by date and all of that. You can actually figure out which are the right ones. And they're not all of them, but you can make a pretty good guess. So basically, stores know. They know that they've got these, or at least some of them do. Now, what could happen here is that stores could sell them at a huge premium. Of course, if any store does do that, they run the risk of having to refund if they are not God boxes, and then there's the proof of whether they were or not. And short of having your customers open them in front of you, that's going to be super awkward. Because even if they did a live recording, they could just switch it out of another box and then claim it wasn't. So it's super awkward. But I know that some stores, I have heard stories of some stores in Canada, and I can't verify this, it might not be true, but I believe it is, who have basically gone, well, these are just regular boxes, and we think they're better than normal, let's sell them to locals. And any store that does that, I love them, and I hope they are massively successful and they stay in business until the end of time. Any store that's gone, hey, we've got these God boxes, they've got a huge pull rate of secret rares, that's amazing. Hey, this is a great way to reward our loyal customers, and it should be loyal customers, not random people walking in for the first time. I think that is amazing, and I hope if anybody knows of a store doing that, they shout them out as a wonderful store and spread the word about how great that store is. That is absolutely brilliant. But again, my conversation with Kevin, it's based on date of delivery, exterior labels, matching, and there are interior codes in the boxes, and essentially you can use that code a little bit to try and determine whether it is a God box or not. I don't know if the picture on the screen is or not. That's not relevant. It's just an example of the code. My point is, I think there are some stores out there that are very organised that can distinguish them. I do not think it's going to be sensible trying to buy these off of eBay or on the secondary market. Now, I did ask the question, well, how easy is this going to be to buy off of eBay, to list on eBay? And in theory, you could. The thing is, not all of the boxes that fit the description are actually error boxes. It's not an exact science. And like I say, one of the distinguishing marks does seem to be the code on the inside of the box. So I don't know if anyone's going to try selling sealed boxes as God boxes. But firstly, it's going to be near impossible to actually prove that they are. And secondly, once they're shipped, somebody's just going to open it and claim it wasn't a God box and claim their money back. It is a minefield. No. Essentially, on the outside of the box, there is nothing to show it as a God box. It is all to do with the case it came from and the internal code after you've opened the box. And of course, once you've opened it, you could have switched packs out, etc. So, nah, ladies and gentlemen, that's just getting awkward. Now, of course, the other thing that some stores have done instead, and I'm sorry if this is a local game store, I can't really be mad at them for doing so, but one thing that some stores have been doing is essentially going, hey, we've got these error boxes, crack them for singles. Let's crack them open and use these to just really pump up our singles. And you know what? That sounds fine by me. Jason Nietzsche did post a bunch of pictures over on Facebook, and you can see this first picture here. You've got, they've opened the case. They've pulled a bunch of Vs and V Maxes. That is what I would expect. That sounds sensible. But then we see in the next image, there's 5 Rainbow Rare Mew V Maxes, 4 Alternate Art Mew V Maxes, 4 Alternate Art Inteleon, 6 Alternate Art Gengar, 3 Celebi, 2 Espeon, only 1 Mew V, weirdly. And then we see a huge number of Rainbow Rares, and it's just like, that's not supposed to come out of a case. That is way too many. Now, I'm hoping I don't do a follow-up story in a few days' time about the Canadian boxes which are all missing, because that would be really, really sad. So, yeah. Hopefully that won't happen. For now, essentially the story is that there are some shops in Canada, it seems to be mostly smaller shops, which are getting these God boxes in with loads more secret rares than you would generally want. And that's kind of a fun story. I give so much props. Any local game stores that are selling these to their locals as a priority, I think that is amazing and I applaud them. Shops that are opening up for singles, you know what? I love local game stores. I know they're not all perfect. I know some of them are a bit mean. But if this is a way for local game stores to get a bit of an advantage and give themselves a little bit of a leg up, they're not hurting anyone. They're taking advantage of a nice situation where they're going to have a whole bunch of extra singles to sell. And I think that's pretty gosh darn cool. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Weird story. That's a little bit strange. And I kind of like it. Shout out one more time to Kevin Douglas of KD Collectibles for being awesome. There should, if I remember correctly, be a link to their store in the description. So if you are in and around Canada, do go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. For now, I want to know what you think about this. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.